A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shoaib Khan. Today's tutorial is a very informative one, but unfortunately it's all in 3D Studio Max. But before we start the tutorial, I just wanted to tell you the meaning of Assalamu alaikum because I keep on using it. So basically Assalamu alaikum means peace be on you. And it's similar kind of greetings that Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, used to use in his language Hebrew. Pronunciation was a bit different, but it meant the same. It used to be like something like this, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be on you. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to use the same greetings, Assalamu alaikum. Also, I find it very appropriate to use it in my tutorials because my tutorials are seen in different parts of the world. If I use good morning, it could be good afternoon or good evening or good night there, So also the situation in that place could be a little different from here, For example, God forbid there's a death in a family, or that place is hit by a tornado or earthquake, And it's a sad situation. So using something like hi or good morning, I don't think is appropriate and comforting as well. So Assalamu alaikum can be used in any situation, happy or sad, So therefore, Assalamu alaikum to all of you. Now let's start the tutorial. Okay, so this is what I have made. Well, actually we wouldn't be making this because this is just some effects that I've put to grab your attention. And what we would be more concentrating is the technique of applying these materials, to all the sides of a cube. So let me take you to 3D Studio Max. So this is, here we are, the square. And actually the way I'm moving this is you have to hold Alt key in your keyboard and the middle mouse button so that you can move around like this. It goes crazy. Can you see that? Okay, stop. Okay, so basically you can see that I have applied these like videos and still pictures. Actually that's me. Yeah, and still pictures to all the sides to one object. This is not like separate objects. So if it's like separate objects, then you can just go there and apply it separately. So you need to go to MultiSubObject to apply these materials. So when you render this out, it looks from all the sides, and then you can add different effects, and then you can give object IDs to these effects. Okay, so let's reset it. Oh, before I reset it, let me show you the other example with the effects that I applied. So as you can see, it applied glows to it, and then a bit of noise and ray tracing to the floor to give this nice effect, which is also part of this tutorial that I'm going to show you how to do that if we have time. Okay, let's first reset it. Okay, let's first make a box with beveled edges. So we're not going to go for this box because it hasn't got beveled edges. So we go to standard primitives and extended primitives. In here we'll go to chamfer box. Click it and then we say cube and come to the top and just draw a box. Just click it and then we go to modify and then we adjust its fillet. So let's click full screen, and if you need more space we can get rid of bar by customize UI show track bar, so in this way. Okay, let's adjust the fillet. You can't see the vertices here right now, so you just go to perspective and then you say edit faces so that you can see the segments. So now segments, let's see how many segments do we need. You don't need too high detailed model, it's just a simple exercise we are doing here. So let's say we've got a cube here, basic cube, and let's save the project. Okay, to simply save it, just Control S, or you go to File, Save, and then you give it a path and name and location and save it. Okay, let's first convert this into edit poly. Now there are two ways of converting it to edit poly. One is you just right click and convert to edit poly. But in this method what happens is, if you change the model, yeah, and then you can't go back to your box. So this method is no good for now. So we do Control Z, and now what you need to do is go to modifiers list, and in here then you say edit poly, convert to edit poly. So we are here in the stack. So if we make any changes, you know, let's say in the vertices, and you say, okay, I don't want this, and you want to go back to your chamfer box, you can easily go back to your chamfer box, or you can just delete this edit poly. So let's add edit poly. Now in the edit poly mode, what we have is a polygon, right? Polygon is, you select the faces, the polygons, you know, and this is vertexes, to select the vertexes, and this is edge, to select the edges. And these are other tools that I'll show you for other methods that we won't be using these ones now. We will be only using polygon mode. So we have got our basic chamfer box with edit poly on it. Now what we need to do is, the job here is basically apply different materials, videos and stills, to all these 6 sides, right? So a cube has got 6 sides. Now let's go to material editor. This is our basically material editor, and these are the shaders. If we had a box that has got different objects, then we could have easily used, you know, all these shaders and apply it separately. But here what we need is this task here is basically, now it's one object, and we need to give it IDs as well. So this is basically the method that we're going to use in it. It's called MultiSubObject. So if we go to our object here, and then we go to standard, and in standard we click MultiSubObject. Say keep all material as sub-editor. Say discard all materials, so we discard everything. So basically here we have got a list of all the materials. Like we've got 10 materials. We don't need 10 because the box has got 6 sides, and plus we need one more side, you know, for the edges here. So we'll have only 7 sides. So we delete all. Okay, let's change the color of these IDs so that when it is applied you will see the difference, you know. So change this to different colors. Pink and yellow and yes, and let's say this, and we keep this as gray because this will be the edges. So now these are the IDs with it, you know. This material has got ID 1 to it, blue has got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 IDs. So we've got these IDs. What we need to do is just let's apply this whole shader to our box here. This box here, we haven't set our IDs yet, right? So what we need to do is let's set our IDs. So if we go to polygon, edit poly, and select polygon mode, and here let's say if I click this one and I want to give this an ID, you know, a name, so that my shader here will remember that number 2 will be applied to this, and number 3 will be applied to this, number 4 to this, you know, according to the IDs that you give. It's all up to you how you want to give it. So if you select this one, you go down the stack here, and here you can set the ID in polygon properties, right? So we will name this as set ID 2. I want this to be ID 2 because number 1 will be the edges. So now this is ID set. It's called number 2, right? See, so automatically the blue color is applied. Number 2 is applied to it. Now you go and click this and you set ID 3. Okay, so we have given this ID 3. So as you see, it's already changed its color. So you come here and we say, okay, I want this to be ID 4. As you see, it has changed its color. And you come here and you say, I want it ID 5. So in this way, you've got all 4 sides covered. And you come to the top and you say, I want this to be ID 6. Right? this to be ID 7. So in this way we've got all our sides covered. And if you go back to the material, now you can see the grey color is basically the edges. As you can see, the edges being changed. So this is a similar color. Let's change it to something else. So here we are. You've got all the shader applied to one mesh with IDs. Now, is another good thing about this is, now let's say you want to select a face, an ID. So all you need to do is just go here and you say, I want to select number 4. So number 4 is selected for you. Now it's very difficult, to, let's say you want to select this ID, the whole edges. It'll be impossible for you to just select all of them and select the whole this blue color here. So what you do is you just come out of it, out of the selection, and you just scroll down, and here you click number 1. So as you can see, number 1 is selected for you. So it's a great way of selecting your mesh as well. And this kind of technique, this is used in a lot of games industry, and for your car modeling or any kind of modeling that is one mesh. So it's quite handy, and it's a good technique to use it. So now let's go and apply our materials. So if we come out of it, let's say number 2, I want to apply a material to it. So simply you just go in there and you click the diffuse slot. So this is the diffuse slot that where you want to apply your material to it. So when you click diffuse slot, it'll take you to this material map browser, and in it you click bitmap. So in bitmap you just go and select your location, and here then you've got your materials. So let's say you want to apply London move to it. Yeah, and now it's applied, but you can't see it just because you need to say show. So you come out of it and you say show, and here it is applied. Now it's a bit stretched. Now why it is stretched? Because you need UVW mapping to it. So for that you need to just go and apply UVW. Yeah. Now as you know that this is, if you go back you'll see that this is ID2. So if it is ID2, then you go inside it and you have to write the map channel ID2, because in UV mapping, sorry, it's not UV unwrap, it's UVW map. Right, that's the one. Sorry about that. Okay, so in here you have to see these map channels have to match. If the map channel is 1, you know that this object is not 1, its material ID is 2. So you need to put 2 here, right? And you come here and you apply 2 as well, right? And then you just change the angle and you will get your map applied. So this is very important because you need to apply UVW mapping, So for that you need to know the map channel for this face and the map channel here as well. So similarly we come out of it, and now we go to 3, and let's say in 3 is this color, as you can see. In 3, then we go inside 3, same method, go to diffuse and bitmap, and let's say this time I want to apply TDK to it, right? So you click, come out of it and say show. It's not going to show unless you just press this button, show. Now the same thing. Now how are you going to apply this UVW mapping to it, because this is applied to this face here. So what you need to do is apply another UVW mapping. Just go here, UVW map, and in it again in the same way you go into the diffuse, and you know that this map channel, by going back you know that this map channel is number 3. So you go inside number 3, and here you click number 3, right? So will not be applied right now because you need to change the ID, map ID channel, like we did previously for map channel, these three. So these two, they have to match, map channel 3 and this map channel 3, they have to, you know. So now you need to change the angle of it, and here you go. So here it's, you can see it's upside down and mirrored as well. So what you need to do is click one of these, and this is, you get the right face, and then you just change this to -90 and you get your material. Sometimes if the material, they don't adjust, you know, because the material, that map is bigger, you know, if it's not a square then it's bigger, and it might not, you know, fit the face here. So for that you need to go here and say, you can either say fit, but if you say fit, then it'll just fit it, you know, and stretch, probably it will stretch it as well. But the best way is go to bitmap fit. When you go bitmap fit and then you go to the material, to the video that you have just applied, which is TDK, so it gets the sizes, statistics, and it'll apply to it, you know, so it will be perfectly the same size now. And also, if you want, you can see the mesh here, you can see the outline here of UVW mapping, what you can highlight it, and you can, if you want, then you can increase the size as well, you know. If you go to the scale tool here, you'll see what I mean. So as you can see, the size is getting bigger here. So this is how you can increase the size as well. So but we don't need that because our video is perfectly matched. So you come out of UV mapping here. Alright, so we have got two faces covered now. Let's go to the third one, fourth one, which is, come out of it, the pink one. See the color, when you color it as well, it gives you an idea of what ID it is. So you go inside material ID, and then you go diffuse again, you go bitmap and underground this time. You know the ID, if you don't remember you can go back, ID is 4, and inside 4 you just go there and apply map channel 4, right? In the same way you want to apply a new UVW map, and just change the angle. So it's not showing right now because we forgot to turn on the show. You also need to give the map channel as number 4. So in this way you will get your underground. The same problem with the underground as well, so you need to flip it so you get the right size. Now it looks a bit bigger in size, so if you want to adjust it, what you can do is bitmap fit and you go to underground and it'll be adjusted. So in the same way you can apply the rest of the materials. I'll apply another one for you, which is number 5, and if you go to number 5, and where is number 5? Here is number 5. So just go here, bitmap, and this time it's still picture. So let's go to Schwabe, and now you've got this material. So you just, it's applied already. You know that the material is 5. So you go inside. It also is written here as well, if you see 5, and you just map channel ID 5, and then you go UVW map, and again turn on the show thing, and here you need to change this number to 5 as well. So as you can see that it's upside down, so what you need to do is just change this to 90. And if you want to size it, fix it, you know, you can fix it as well. If you want to do it manually, then you just highlight UVW map and just decrease the size here. You can see from here as well, you know, the outline is fixed here. So by the way, this is me in one of the videos that I did for a famous singer here in UK, England. Her name is Rachel Stevens, so I played her boyfriend in this video. And the song was, I think it was I Said Never Again. So it was all over the MTV once, when I was an actor. But I'm not an actor anymore, so yeah. So when you render it, this is how it looks. So in the same way, just apply the rest of the materials to the other sides as well. We've got 2 more materials, and I'm hoping that you can apply those 2 materials. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, here we are. I have applied all the materials to all the sides. In the same method, I've used the same method as I've shown you, and you can see all the materials perfectly. Oh, by the way, this is me as well. Yep. Okay, and now we've got all the materials applied to the side, and you know the method is so easy. It's like edit poly, and then it's all about IDs, you know. Now is let me take you to the next step as well, which is also very exciting. That if you want to apply a glow to it, you know, a glow material to, let's say, the corners, not the pictures, just want to apply to the corners. So we go to rendering, effects, add, in there we go to lens effect. So this whole new panel called environment and effects. So in the lens effect, what you need to do is just go apply glow to it, right? So when you apply glow, you've got all this panel here. And now how are you going to apply glow to this? Of course you need to give ID as usual, you know. So what is the ID of blue here? ID for the blue edges is 1. So you go to options, you say material ID 1, and turn off these lights and everything. And when you go here and you render it, you'll see how it looks. So it's not applied. Why? Because you need to give an ID here, you know, in this small panel here. The ID is number 1. For here, when you click number 1, and only then it will be applied, otherwise it won't be applied. So as you can see, the glow is applied, which is really bad at the moment. So let me just fix it. You come back to parameters. Here, just change this to 0.5. And if you want to use this original color of your box, then you just use source color 200, and only then you'll get your source color. But if you want to change colors, put it down and change the colors here, you know. Like that, since we'll be using the same color as the source color. And let's turn down the intensity to 80 so that it looks a bit nicer. Yeah. So now what we need to do is just put a floor to it. So you come back and come to standard primitives, go to plane and apply a nice small floor to it, and then you apply material to it, to the floor. Let's turn it into completely black. Now you want this to reflect the box. At the moment it's not. So what you need to do is, of course, you need to apply a ray tracing to the floor. If you go to maps, now there's 2 ways of doing it. If your computer is powerful, you just apply a ray trace to the reflection. If not, then go to flat mirror. You know, there's another way of applying it. As you can see, the flat mirror. So you come out of it and then you can turn it down, so it's also kind of a reflection. If you want, if your computer is faster, and this is also another better way of applying the reflection, is ray trace. So leave the settings as it is, and now you see the ray trace being applied. So you just turn it down to, let's say, 20, and we want the floor to reflect like a bumpy floor, so we just go and apply noise to it and turn the noise down to 1 and fractal, so it'll be like a reflective, liquidy kind of a surface. So now let's apply a light. So this is a very simple exercise that we are doing right now. We have done the basic part of our tutorial. I'm just doing this since we have some extra time here. So we go to Omni, apply the light here. So what color light do you want is all up to you. Let's say if it's blue or green, because you need to move it up. Now since the light is right at the top, so that's why you can't see the sides of it, so you need to apply another light so that you can see the rest of the sides. Now let's apply a camera, a very simple method of attaching a camera to a part. I want the camera to revolve around it like this, So for that, it's a very simple method. Let's very quickly do that. Go to Shapes, get a circle, and make a circle around your box. Right. Bring it up in the front view and apply a target camera. Go to top viewport and apply the target camera. Right. Now just go to, now you want this camera to be attached to this part so that it revolves around it. So you just go to Animation, Constraints, Part Constraints, and then you got this pick whip kind of a thing as in After Effects, so you just click the path. So now you've got camera attached to it, as you can see. So come here, highlight this viewport, and then you say apply C, press C, and you get the camera view. So go back. Right now circle needs to be bigger, or go to Modifier, Target, Camera, Parameters, and go to 35. But still we want the circle to be a bit bigger so that the box is a bit far away. So here we are. Oops, there is no track, so we go back to Customize and Show Track Bar. So we got our track bar here. And if you want PAL resolution, or if you want NTSC, just click this time configuration here. You go to PAL, so it's 25 frames, change it to 100, and OK. So here we are. Now, but we still can't see the sides. Now what we're going to do is we need to apply a light as well, a new light. Go to Lights, Omni Light, and put it here near the camera. Now I want the light to move with the camera. So the only way is if I link the light to the camera, so the camera becomes parent. So this is the link tool. So we press this, we come up here, bring it closer, and you put it on top of the light and pick with it to the camera. In this way it adopts the movement of the camera, as you can see, and the light will follow the camera on the path, and you can see all the sides. Right, let's change this to white light. So here we are. So I show you the original file that I've worked with. So this is the original file, it zooms in and comes here. So how did I do the zoom in, since the camera is still here, attached to circle? It's very easy. Just click the camera, and the lens is basically at frame 0 is 1 millimeters, and when it comes to frame 10 it changes to 19. So this is how I animated the lens of the camera, so it gives you an effect of zooming in. So when you render it, this is how it looks, and when it's far away, that's how it looks, the way I've shown you. This technique is very, very important, when you're modeling complex object, that is like one mesh, because sometimes when you apply mesh smooth or turbo smooth to one object, and then it has to be one mesh. So in that case, this technique comes quite handy, So I'll catch up with you next time. Take care of yourselves. Once again, my name is Shoaib Khan from Maxafter.com. Assalamu alaikum.